Hello everyone, Jeff and Jay here with another edition of Jay's Big Adventure. Jay's Fuzzy Guy. And today we are in Dallas, Texas buying a car for our daughter, and we may have screwed up. So we are making progress, kind of, sort of. We left Dallas this morning and had to put 2 front tires on it before we even left the city because they were so bad. There was no way we were going to make it 1,300 miles back to Salt Lake City. So stopped and put some tires in the car. And 200 miles later, stopped for gas and the car wouldn't start, and so we had to put a battery in it. I've gone, I don't know, maybe 300 miles today. It's 1,300 miles home. I'm not going to do it in 2 days. But we are in Amarillo, Texas, and had to stop and show you this. So what exactly is the Cadillac Ranch? It is a series of 1950s Cadillacs buried nose first in the ground. And the original exhibit was commissioned by a local businessman, used a local artist, and it was just supposed to be a roadside attraction for I-40, which runs right by the edge of the property. Legend has it what happened was the local kids kept jumping over the fence and spray painting the cars. After fighting this battle for a lot of years, the owner decided it would probably be better if he just sold spray paint himself. So what's happened is that is exactly what he does, and every so often he changes the palette. This particular time period looks to be basically primary colors. In other years it's been pastels. Beyond that it's been neon colors. But what this does is it creates living art. As the cars get painted, it changes the nature of the installation. And obviously there's a ton of paint on these cars now. In some places, it's probably 6 inches thick. But it's a living piece of art, and it changes on a regular basis. And that's what makes this cool. It is an absolutely beautiful day today. And I just love walking through and seeing what people have done just by adding some color. Boy, I wish you could smell it. It's been a busy day. There's a bunch of spray paint in the air, but it's just a fascinating exhibit and a testament to what can happen when you turn an art exhibit loose to the people that actually see it. We have stumbled into a little car museum right on US 40, and it's called Russell's Car Museum. There's some really interesting pieces in here. This is an 87 Grand National, and these are actually becoming pretty valuable. People have finally figured out that they are neat pieces. A couple of early 50s stuff, not really my cup of tea, but really nicely done. 51 Ford. But here's where the fun stuff starts. It's a 59 Corvette 4-speed. 55, of course, the first body style, which would be a C1 Corvette. This would be a C2. And then an absolutely gorgeous 58 Impala with tri-power carbs. Marilyn Monroe. And then the entire place is covered in memorabilia. There's all kinds of neat stuff. Bunch of hats, bunch of model cars. This is an original horse-drawn gas truck. And finally, one that's been motorized. So this is pretty neat. I've got scooters and a couple of motorcycles out front. It's just a really, really lovely little find. And all we did was stop here for gas. Out here, they've got a cool old 1960 panhead chopper. I think that's a 48. And then an original year Goldwing, 1975 Goldwing. A Model T, a couple of cool scooters. This place is just absolutely wonderful. What a gem to find just pulling in for gas. I'm impressed. Good morning. It is now day 2. We left Albuquerque, New Mexico this morning. I got there late last night. The car was not running real well. There's a vibration in the drivetrain, and I can't quite isolate it. Hard to do without tools. But the car runs and drives fine, but there is a significant vibration above, say, quarter throttle. If you step into it at all, there's definitely a vibration. It's in the right front. Could be a half shaft. Could be the U-joint or the CV joint on that half shaft. Could be a suspension piece. I'm not quite sure. But we are in some really remote parts of the country right now. This is absolutely beautiful New Mexico. Really, really hope that we don't have a problem here. There's nothing around. But in the middle of all this, just about 5 minutes ago, I went past a guy in a mid-80s or late 80s Honda CRX, and it was a Japanese model. It was, I'll have to look to see whether the Type R sticker was real or whether he just stuck it on there. But it was right-hand drive. A little black Civic CRX in the middle of Nowheresville. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, we are making progress. I'm hoping to get home tonight, as long as you don't have a problem with the car. We've come down out of that little mountain range, and man, it's flat again. There's just not a whole lot going on in this part of, I believe, Mexico. You can see the mirror. It's just, there's nothing out here. Made it to Utah. We've crossed the state line. We are in our home state finally. Colorado is beautiful, but it is good to be home. We're only about 300 miles from Salt Lake City. The car is running great, and it really seems to like 70 miles an hour a lot more than it did 80. Mileage picked up. First tank of gas, I got 19.8 miles per gallon. This last tank, I got almost 25. So slowing down when you're driving a vehicle that's shaped like a house, apparently really helps. Who knew? But anyway, I'm getting a little optimistic, which is probably a mistake, but at this rate, we'll be home by dinner time. Really wanted to be home before it got dark, but that's not going to happen. But it won't be too much beyond that. One of the things we're going to do with this is upgrade the lights like we did on everything else we own, and give it a little bit more visibility and things. But so far so good. I can't really complain. A bunch of little things I want to do with the car when we get back. There's some trim pieces around the front window that are just gone. There's a trim plate in the back bumper that's broken. I got to figure out what's going on with that, and treat all the rubber parts and off the paint and clean the interior. But overall, considering it was so cheap, I can't complain.